got to admit your mistakes. Now, admitting them is only step one. First, you got to identify that you got a problem necessarily, but then you got to admit it, and what do you learn from it? How are you going to fix that situation? So when Jimmy Haslam comes out at the NFL owners meetings and admits the thing that we all know, great. I'm glad he admitted it. What are you going to do to learn from that situation? I think a lot of people are jumping to a conclusion that I can't jump to just yet. And there are people sitting there saying, with Jimmy basically admitting that the Deshaun Watson situation falls on him, on ownership, they think somehow that's a pass for Andrew Berry. That's a dangerous line of thinking there, and I got a reason why I wouldn't jump to that conclusion just yet. I got the people all fired up right on Twitter talking about trading back up to go get Shedeur Sanders. Is the slide on for Shedeur Sanders? A lot of S's in that. Alliteration, if you will. Maybe, but I'm steadfast. I don't want to go back up to go get him. I'll explain that. We'll discuss that coming up. Cavs with a nice win over those Knicks the other night. Do you still feel the same about the Cavs you did 2 months ago? We'll get to that. Guardians, hey, man, the Padres are really freaking good. All right. They got the off day on Thursday. They're out in L.A. to take on the Angels. We'll talk a little Guards coming up as well. We'll get to that immaculate grid. We got it all for you right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. Hey is Ryan Tyler. So happy to have you alongside, part of the Big Play Sports Network, or if you're watching on Fridays, 4 o'clock on the Rock Sports Entertainment Network. We appreciate you joining us, presented by our great friends at, it's always over here, I gotta remember, it's Fairway Ford, baby. Love you at Fairway Ford, our friends at Garage Beer, and we gotta welcome Pure AV to the show. We'll tell you about them in just a little bit right here as part of the Fontana Show, Big Play Network. Follow us on Twitter, X, at Matt Fontana Show. Instagram and YouTube, real easy. Just Big Play, or download that Big Play app. And if you so like, drop me a follow at Matt Fontana 83. Ryan is at Ryan Tyler 33. So we're at the NFL owners meetings, which I didn't know if we were going to get to the tush push. I want to talk. Save that for later. I want to talk to you about the tush push as well. But so the NFL owners meetings are going on, and they do these a couple times a year, and the coaches sit down for breakfast, and the owners speak, and they go over rule changes and competition and first downs and all that kind of stuff. Well, Jimmy Haslam, speaking to the Cleveland media, admitted what we all knew. Deshaun Watson was a, quote, swing and a miss. That's probably one of the nicest ways that you could put that situation. Then Jimmy on the other side says, and I'm paraphrasing here, it's the buck stops with the ownership. And he said, if you want to put any blame, if you want accountability, that falls on ownership. Now, he backed that off to say that, yes, this was still a team decision, and they're going to hide behind what they said 2 years ago. Was it 3 years ago already now, Ryan? Wow.
3 years, baby.
3 years. That this was a unanimous decision and everybody was on board. Okay, great. And I do want to say this. I appreciate the Haslams stepping up and saying that, because they could just sit there and hide behind that, like, hey, this is just what it is, and there's no real point in going back and playing the blame game. All right, they came out and they said basically the buck stops with us. You want to put blame on somebody, it starts with ownership. Great. I appreciate them saying that. I really do. What people are jumping on now, as we are in draft season, that's a pass to Andrew Berry. That's a pass on Andrew Berry, because he didn't necessarily orchestrate. He pulled the trade off, but he wasn't the driving force. That's what people are trying to jump on. Ryan, did you ever over the last 3 years feel like that was really Andrew Berry on that driving force?
To be honest with you, I just have no idea.
Sure.
At some point, I thought maybe it was. Some point, I thought maybe it was a Haslam decision. Hey, I don't care. I'm the owner. I know you're the GM, and this is what I paid you to do. I hired you for, but we're doing this.
Yeah.
I don't know if we ever got a clear answer.
That might not ever be figured out. Was this brought to the table by Berry and Jimmy went over the top and said, get this done? At the end of the day, even if it was as simple as this was a directive from ownership, you are an employee and this is your job to do this. When your boss tells you to do something, you do it. Maybe it's that simple. Where I'm not jumping on board with this is making it out that now Andrew Berry has some sort of lifeline that he doesn't have to take a quarterback, or the pressure isn't as intense as it was, and he can play the game and draft Abdul Carter and get a quarterback later, and we'll cross that bridge later. No. There is still heat on Andrew Berry, as it should be. Set aside the Deshaun Watson trade for a second. Who else has Andrew Berry really brought in here that you circle and you say, that guy's an impactful player on our team? Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah? Grant Delpit? You maybe said MJ Emerson at a time. That's about it. You traded for Jerry Jeudy. Give him credit for that. Seems to be a good trade, right? And he's getting some contracts out, but like, there's just still misses out there. And I don't want people falling into this false sense of security that all of a sudden, they're okay with Andrew Berry and he's going to be here for a couple years. I still want a hunger and an aggressiveness to go fix the main problem with the Cleveland Browns. We do not have a quarterback. Fix that. And we'll talk about Shedeur coming up in just a little bit. Like, do I want them just to go draft 7 quarterbacks in this draft? Well, I wouldn't hate it. Like, it's don't lose sight of what they still have to do in this offseason and in this draft. And the final thing I want to say, it's going to come off that I'm calling Jimmy Haslam a liar, and I'm not doing that. Ryan, GMs and coaches and owners say one thing, and 48 hours, that's not the same. And I got into a famous debate on my last stop on a show with 2 of my very good friends. Danny Cunningham and Nick Paulus and I did a show. And we go back to the clip when Andrew Berry, that offseason, was asked, is Baker Mayfield your starting quarterback for this season coming up? And he said yes. A month later, they traded for Deshaun Watson. And Danny and Nick go, he lied. And I always would maintain he didn't lie. It's like little Costanza from Seinfeld. It's not a lie if you believe it. He said what was the truth in that moment, and things changed. This statement on the Watson thing, if the Browns go 3-14 and don't have an answer at quarterback, are they really going to go back like, well, you basically gave Andrew Berry a pass? That's not how that works. You still have to fix this team. You still have to attack the biggest problem facing this team. So for everybody that heard what Jimmy had to say, yeah, he said, and by the way, it's not like he came out and said, no, Andrew Berry's going to be here, right? All he said was the Deshaun Watson stuff stops with us. I'm not reading anything into that's somehow a pass for Andrew Berry, because frankly, I don't know if Berry deserves one. I was one that I never really believed that this was an Andrew Berry thing. I think this came from ownership. He was directed to do something, and he did it. And I'm also not one that's trying to go back and get my pound of flesh and try to, what's done is done. You are in this situation right now. But Ryan, I can't sit here and just go, well, Andrew Berry, pressure's off. Do what you think is best in the draft. Do not lose sight of what we need to do here.
No, and Andrew Berry deserves nothing. No, not even a little pass. No, he doesn't, because you talk about, yes, you've made good trades. You traded for Jerry Jeudy. That worked out. The Amari Cooper trade was good. He was a hell of a player when he was here. But you look at the draft, right? We talk about you don't win through free agency.
Nope.
You supplement through free agency. You have to win through the draft, and his drafts have, quite frankly, been a failure. I'm not going to say Jock was a hit, and we'll see what his future holds in terms of his health. But the surrounding repercussions. You picked up Jed Will's 5th option. You drafted
doesn't have a team.
And that's what I'm saying.
That guy might be done with football at 26 years old.
You gave contracts to guys like Juan Thornhill.
Gone.
It doesn't work. You have to be able to draft if you want to be a successful GM, and his history will tell you that he's, well, quite frankly, he's not that good at it.
And again, you want to try to fight for a pass. Well, he didn't have his first-round picks and all that. Still, you can hit on guys in later rounds. You're allowed to do that in the NFL draft. Trust me. You're allowed to do that, is find guys outside of the first round to be good football players for you. I do think I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. There has been some good with Andrew Berry, and Ryan, I think that's why he still has a job, right? If he had missed everything else, he wouldn't be here right now. But he has hit on some good things. They believe in what he's doing, and you want to give him time to work. But everything Jimmy said this week, none of that changes my track, my mindset on this, that I still need them to go find me a quarterback. Now, one of those quarterbacks might be available for you a little bit later on. I want to talk about Shedeur Sanders, because this idea that he's starting to slip down the draft board, I want to discuss that, and I just want to nip this in the bud. I don't want game plan. I don't want the Browns to be sitting there playing this game. Well, we'll trade back up. We'll do this. We'll discuss all that coming up in just a second. But you don't play any games at Fairway Ford. It is this simple. They have good vehicles for an amazing price with good APRs. What else do you need? They will ship to all 50 states for you if you need it. They'll title and ship it. You only pay taxes once on that, by the way. They'll do whatever they need to get you in that vehicle that you're looking for. Canfield's a short drive for us here in Cleveland. Well worth it to go get a vehicle with thousands of dollars off. But even if you wanted, Ryan, think about this. You could do this strictly online. I know people like to test drive cars, and as you should. But you can go to fairwayfordohio.com. You could do a lot of your paperwork on there. You could pick a vehicle. It could be in your driveway next week. You don't even have to leave your house. They have so many of the vehicles. Truck month is going on. Dude, I was driving the other day. You know what I saw? This really sharp Ranger Lariat. I didn't know they could do Lariat. I mean, it makes sense, but it was a sharp white, off-white Lariat Ranger. I'm like, man, that's a sharp-looking truck. You know me, man. The Raptors, they just speak to me. I'll get one day. The Broncos are there, but all the Super Duties as well. You need that big vehicle. You're going to be towing a camper. You're going to be towing a boat this summer. All of those fun adventures. You need that. Dude, on Instagram, one of the accounts that always populates for me are these people at boat ramps, and they can't get their boat out of the water, or they don't know how to back it in. And I go, you got the wrong vehicle. You know, this big boat, and they're towing it with this tiny little truck or this tiny little SUV. It ain't going to work. You need the dually. You need that big vehicle. Go see them at Fairway Ford. And it's this simple. I'm telling you this. They'll make a deal for you. They're not going to be beat on price. And you're dealing with a family-run organization for over 20 years. And why can they do what they do? Because they make a lot of sales. They do a lot there. So they're willing to sometimes part with vehicles that are a little less. They're not out to get every last penny out of you. It's because they do so much. It's because they're able to have the model that they have. They are excellent vehicles. The pre-owned lot is amazing. You want custom order, they can do that. And by the way, they have a little priority with Ford. You want to custom order something, they'll get you a little bit quicker there. Fairwayfordohio.com. Just check them out. Tell them we sent you. And I'll just say this, they're going to take care of you. They will take care of you at Fairway Ford. I stand by that. They are amazing people with amazing vehicles. Check them out, fairwayfordohio.com. Well, speaking of slipping down a boat ramp, it seems like Shedeur Sanders might be slipping in this draft. Browns going back up to get him? We'll discuss it next. All right, it is silly season. I feel like every week there's a new thing to jump on about a player or a team or what's going on. Seems to be the flavor du jour right now is Shedeur Sanders maybe slipping in the draft. Welcome back. Fontana Show right here on Big Play, part of the Rock Entertainment Sports Network as well. Follow us on Twitter X at Matt Fontana Show. Instagram and YouTube is Big Play, presented by our friends at Fairway Ford and Garage Beer. And we got to welcome in a brand new partner, Pure AV, to us here, not only on the Fontana Show, but here on Big Play. You need that audio-visual work done, go check them out, pureavcorp.com. Growing up, or not growing up, but before kids, I loved that my house was the place that my brothers came to for the big game, for the big UFC fight, for whatever it was. My setup was bad, Ryan. It's like I got a TV on the wall.
A lot of cords?
A lot of cords. Yeah, they hit into the cords. And that's one of the things about Pure AV that you will find out when you go there. Bro, they can hide this stuff. The surround sound is phenomenal. The OLED 4K, 8K. The only thing I think a lot about with Pure AV with hiding this stuff, how about outdoor? You got an outdoor patio that'd be so cool to have everybody over, crack yourself a beverage, and you're sitting out on a patio on a beautiful Cleveland night, watching the baseball game, watching some playoff basketball. It is endless at Pure AV, and it's whatever your budget fits as well. It's whatever you need to get done, whatever you're looking to get done. But start with Pure AV. And the other thing, they will fix other people's mistakes. Maybe you got an install done, and it's just the app never works. It doesn't sound crisp. You know, you pay a lot of money for that. You want the most out of it. They will come in and do service calls for other installations as well. So if you're thinking about doing that big move coming up, maybe an early Father's Day gift, wouldn't that be nice? PureAVcorp.com, PureAVcorp.com. Tell them we sent you, and they'll take care of any and all of your audiovisual needs with our friends at Pure AV. They present their segment here talking about Shedeur Sanders. So Are you buying that Shedeur is slipping here, Ryan? You're the biggest Shedeur Sanders fan that I know, and you wore me down, and I want a quarterback. Are you buying? Some people think he might be there at 17.
I mean, if you read anything on Twitter or any social media now, all the insiders,
dangerous game to
it
play.
Seems like everybody's reporting that the Browns are less and less likely every day we get closer to the draft to drafting a quarterback at number 2.
Correct.
And obviously that would be, of course, Shedeur Sanders as Cam Ward will be gone. And now it seems like they're reporting the Giants are going to not draft a quarterback. I don't understand it. Like, I don't care you signed Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston on your roster. You're drafting for your future. And I get if the Browns aren't in love with Shedeur Sanders, sure, because there's very few players that make an impact in a game like a quarterback does. And you think of your Myles Garretts, you think of your Jamar Chase, Justin Jeffersons, etc. So maybe you view Travis Hunter as that. Maybe you view Abdul Carter as that. And I'd understand. But again, it just comes back to everything we say over and over again on every show, how important the quarterback position is. And we've seen what you have in a player that can make the impact of Myles Garrett. It's amazing. And you get your accolades, you get your defensive player of the years. But it doesn't translate to wins like it does when you get a quarterback.
No, and that's where my stance, because it started with some mocks that are starting to go about he falls to 17, he falls to 20. And the Browns trade back up and go get Shedeur Sanders. I don't want them to do that. Where if you value, the question is this. Do you see Shedeur Sanders as a potential franchise quarterback? If you do, take him at 2. No one will ever question about Mason Graham or Travis Hunter. If you find a franchise quarterback, that's all that matters. Nobody cares where you drafted them at. I know there are teams that love to say, we got Jalen Hurts in the 4th round and you found Dak Prescott. There was a stat that came out this past week that I saw of the starting level quarterbacks in the NFL. The hit rate.
Oh, yeah.
1st round, Ryan, 50%. You start to fall later, it's like 20% and then 10%. You have just stats tell you, a 50-50 shot in the 1st round of finding your quarterback. And I get that they want to compare to last year's draft or what next year's draft is going to be. If you answer the question, Andrew Berry, that you think Shedeur Sanders can be your franchise quarterback, you take him at 2. Not this, we'll wait to see where he falls, because now you're playing a game of other people dictating what you are going to do. Then the draft capital. You'd have to get, let's say they want to go up to 17. You're giving up 33 and another 1st round pick. And they say, well, you got Abdul Carter too. Wouldn't you trade 3 picks to get Abdul Carter and Shedeur Sanders? Why? Why would you do that? If you think Shedeur is the guy, just go take him. Me? I don't know. I am starving for a quarterback. And I'd love it to be Shedeur Sanders. I just don't know. That's Andrew Berry's job, is to figure that out. And the other thing, I like Travis Hunter. I like Abdul Carter. Are any of those guys really big enough for you to say, we can't miss this guy? Like, we just can't. And there will be somebody in this 1st round that turns into an all-pro. I don't know who it is. Maybe it's Ted McMillan. Doesn't like film, by the way. Did you see that clip about him?
I did.
They caught him on video saying he doesn't like watching the film. All right. Maybe it's, Will Campbell, the offensive line. I have no idea. But I just, at this point, there's nobody that I sit there and I go, you can't miss that guy. Is there truly a can't miss prospect in this draft? Some people think it is Travis Hunter. I have questions on wide receiver versus corner. I've kind of flipped, by the way. I think he is going to be a wide receiver.
Well,
I think I play him wide receiver.
People are probably sick of talking about this draft in terms of, is Andrew Berry drafting for his job, or is he drafting for the best interest in the team in the future? Because you always talk about the GMs picking for the next GM.
Yeah.
Let's say Browns win 4 games next season. You draft Travis Hunter, but Travis Hunter is an all-pro. He looks to be the cat's rear end.
Sure.
Okay, does that save Andrew Berry's job? I don't know the answer to that. But don't you think it's more likely if you draft Shedeur, and let's say you still win 5 games, he starts the back half of the season, and he looks like the cat's rear end?
Yep.
Andrew Berry's job's probably a whole lot more safer in that latter scenario.
I'm going to flip it on its head for a second. Let's say you draft Shedeur Sanders, and he's bad. We will just draft another one next year. And that's bad business in a way, because, you missed on a 1st round pick, and that's what gets GMs fired. But, it comes back to what we were talking about with Jimmy Haslam earlier on this, admittance of Deshaun Watson. Don't let it cloud your judgment. Nothing will be fixed until you find a quarterback. There's a quarterback. Is he worth taking it to? It sounds like it. If you think he's good, then take him. And I got this Tyler, show guy out of show, whatever, the Louisville kid.
Shuck,
whatever. I think, the kid out of Louisville. He's tall, he's strong, okay, he can throw. Jackson Dart and Jalen Milroe, and I got the Will Howard people in my mentions telling me about go draft him. Fine, and they'll take a quarterback somewhere. But trading back up to go get Shedeur just seems too messy for me. And I get that you don't need to make that decision now in a vacuum. You could wait to see how the draft plays out. And bro, if he's sitting there at 21 and that and the thing on the draft turns over to the next team, you got 5 minutes or whatever to make your call and get that trade done? Sure, you could do that. But that's just, it's too much. It's too much. If you think he's good enough to be a franchise quarterback, do not mess around. Go take him at 2. And if you have questions about that, then draft me Abdul Carter, go get me a quarterback later, and find somebody to start, because I don't think I'm going to be able to handle Kenny Pickett week 1 walking out there as your starting quarterback.
To me, and let me know if this analogy clicks with you. You drafted at 2 because you absolutely sucked last year. You win 3 games. Okay, now you're going into the draft with a good hand, the pick at number 2. It's like you have 4 of a kind. Just, you're going all in. Yeah. Take Shedeur Sanders, and you know what? If he sucks, and let's just put it into the poker terms I'm saying, somebody else has a royal straight flush, and that would equivalent to Shedeur Sanders sucking. Well, you went all in because it was the best opportunity. You had the hand for a reason, and it just didn't work out. Sorry, Andrew Berry. You took the swing. Now you're looking for another job.
And I will never be angry about taking a swing on a quarterback. Exactly. As bad as the Watson thing went, as the off-the-field stuff, which we all know what it is, the guaranteed money and all of that, I'm not going to be angry about them taking a swing on a quarterback. If anything, I'm angry they took a swing on the wrong quarterback, but at least they tried. It's the same thing. And again, if Shedeur is the guy, I will never complain about, well, you could have had this or you could have had that. I mean, the best thing about it was Kyler Murray and Nick Bosa, right? Nick Bosa in that draft, everybody's like, this guy's going to be really freaking good. They took Kyler Murray. Do you think they regret that? Probably not, because Kyler hurt and they've not been a playoff perennial team and all that. But you still took a shot on a quarterback, and that's going to be the thing that gets you out of this more than anything with the Browns. And Andrew Berry, on what his job security is or what he's feeling or his directives from the up. Don't forget, those aren't going to stop either. I just think there's too much. There's too much. And again, if you start to see Shedeur's fall, then other people say, well, what do people see? Well, something's wrong with him. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. And I'm getting the vibes too that Jackson Dart might be the second quarterback taken. Maybe. But I also am with you. I don't think the Giants are going to pass on him. Shedeur, I'm talking about. Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston will not change, at least it should not change a single thing about what the Giants are going to do or not do. And I do think Shedeur's going 3, and this will all be a moot point because then you can't trade back up for him. Sit there at 33, take me a nice offensive lineman, maybe dip in that running back pool a little early, whatever you need. Got it done. But I just don't want to play these games of trying to trade back up for a quarterback, give up future picks. I ain't in that game. And that's coming from somebody who needs a quarterback really bad. All right, I needed a win from the Cavs. They got it done over the Knicks. Are you worried about the wine and gold? Some people starting to get nervous, which I don't get as we get ready to go for the playoffs here. Want to talk some Cavs? We'll do it coming up. Fontana Show right here on The Rock, Big Play Network. Follow us on Twitter X at Big Play. Talk some wine and gold next. All right, Cavs back in the win column on Wednesday night. Nice win over the Knicks. Do you feel the same about the Cavs as you did a couple of months ago? Want to talk some basketball? Welcome back, Fontana Show right here on The Rock. Big Play presented by our friends at Fairway Ford, Garage Beer, Pure AV. Follow us on Twitter at Matt Fontana Show. Do you get the sense, Ryan, some people are nervous about this Cavs team? Getting cold feet all of a sudden? Where they had an incredible, 5-month run of just destroying teams. Now you're at 60 wins. Second most in franchise history. You took out a Knicks team that still just seems to be I want to say head case,
they're just fake good.
I guess. OG Anunoby's fine. That block that Jared Allen got on Cat, man. Wow. But you beat a good team. You had a tough West Coast swing. Not West Coast, but you had that tough road trip, whatever. And all of a sudden I get this should we be worried about the Cavs? And should we be worried about their offense and Donovan Mitchell's groin injury and all that? No. I'm here to tell you that I feel the same about this Cavs team sitting here now into April as I did back in February. I know that they are a really good basketball team that can score with the best of them and have two elite defenders. I know that they got DeAndre Hunter, and he's been great. Strus, Ty Jerome's been injured, but we'll get back to that. The confidence that I have for this Cavs team is still overflowing. So that's where when I hear people start to get cold feet about the Celtics or what they're going to do in the playoffs, it really just prisoner of the moment. They are wishing away or forgetting 5 months worth of excellent basketball for a couple of weeks stretch. Well, it's late in the season. So what? They still got a couple games left. They'll hopefully cakewalk through the first round. They'll get back on track. Don't forget all the things that we saw with this Cavs team throughout a long season. Don't jump ship now. And I'll tell you why, because you're not going to enjoy this as much if you're going into this timid and scared. I'm a realist. The Celtics are a better basketball team. Not by much, but I think they're better. And when you look at Vegas odds, when we meet them in the Eastern Conference Finals, the Celtics are going to be favored. The Celtics have better odds to win the championship than the Cavs. I'm not running from that, and I frankly agree with it. It doesn't stop about how I feel about this team. And I get that it's just maybe it's just fodder. Maybe it is the fans are bored. Because there's an element I thought this team is getting bored with the regular season. Maybe we're finally back to the little LeBron years, Ryan, where we just don't care about the regular season anymore.
It seems like it. I'm not sure there's a regular season test that the Cavs haven't passed. You got to remember, for one, there's proof of concept in pretty much every aspect of this team. You just look at the numbers from the top down, both offensive and defensive. You've beaten the Celtics. You've beaten the Oklahoma City Thunder. You've beaten the top teams. You're 3-0 against a 3 seed in the East, by the way, the New York Knicks, with a chance to go 4-0. All while Donovan Mitchell is playing the least amount of minutes per game in his whole career.
Right.
That speaks for itself, how deep this team is, and you're going to reap those benefits when you get to the games that actually matter, not a game right now that once you're about to clinch the first overall seed in the East, what matters?
You're at home more often with the seed. You're not traveling in the playoffs. And let's not forget, what team do you see? And I'm just going to say this in general. I was going to say about the East outside the Celtics, but Ryan, I'm just going to say this. What team do you feel good about the Cavs losing 4 games to over a 2-week span? Again, the Celtics. Sure. And I will fully admit that. You will not see them for literally another month. If all goes well, it's a month and a half that you won't see them. And even then, I'm going to sit down confident and enjoying that series and say, get after them, Cavs. Let's go. What team do you see the Cavs losing to 4 times in 2 weeks to lose a series? Outside of maybe the Celtics. And then, whatever you... Dude, I don't even know if I could say that about the Thunder. I really don't know if I could see the Thunder beating the Cavs 4 times in 2 weeks. I know, they're good.
The torture chamber is locking up.
I probably should. Lou Dort has Donovan's number. But again, then you go back to what the Celtics are. Donovan Mitchell, nobody has scored more points per game in their career against the Celtics than Donovan Mitchell. Not MJ, not LeBron. It's Donovan Mitchell. He steps up and shows up for the Celtics. And again, everybody else too, a little lull here, and you will go as Donovan Mitchell goes. You will go as Evan Mobley is going. She had a bad night the other night against the Knicks. But, dude, tell me this last month that Jared Allen's not found something and is playing with that chip on his shoulder. I can't. I'm not going to tell people how to feel. I never do that. But I'm just saying, if you're worried about the Cavs, don't. Just don't be. Enjoy this. It is, and listen to me. You listening? Look, right. They're a good basketball team. They are a damn good basketball team. When you start to get worried, just hold on to that. They're a damn good basketball team. With a damn good coach, too, might I add, with Kenny Atkinson. All right, speaking of good coach, he's not a coach, he's a manager. Stephen Vogt, a little slow start there for the Guards, but some of the things I like, a little slow out with the Padres. We'll talk some baseball. We'll do it next. Fontana Show, right here on Big Play and The Rock. Maybe the Guardians need those torpedo bats. Are they starting to get found out already? There was somebody that said they were batting with it, hated it, and put it away. But Guardians, all right, they got swept out by the Padres after a good opening series with the Royals. I got a saying for baseball. It's not my saying. I've heard it from 1,000 people. A lot of people out there know what I'm about to say about it. You call me on Memorial Day. You cannot tell what a baseball team is until Memorial Day. We'll get there eventually. Let's talk some Guards right here. Fontana Show, Big Play, Rock Sports Network. He's Ryan Tyler. I am Matt Fontana. Pure AV, our friends at Garage Beer, and of course, Fairway Ford, bringing you the show. It's baseball, man. And it's just this early in the season. And it's hard because the Terry Francona years, this actually feels like a Terry team, doesn't it? Where they would always get out to these slow starts and dig themselves out of a hole later. Where then last year with Vogt, they came out as world beaters and they were smoking everybody.
You're also playing the Athletics last year to open the year.
Yes, that's a little different in their now minor league stadium or whatever. But, oh, man. Can I be truthful with everybody here for a second? Can I just open my heart up for you about the Guardians? I am so happy with what they did last year that, like, this year's almost a bonus to me. Do I expect them to go to the playoffs this year? I don't know. There's something about baseball to me. The romanticism of it, the fact that I played growing up, that I only ever wanted to play for the Cleveland Indians and Guardians as a kid. It's almost like they can do no bad to me. Like, I get people are upset about the Dolan ownership or what moves they've made or not. All this team has done is provide me with so many great memories, with so much just positivity that, like, so they don't make it this year. And here I am, dude, we're not even 10 games into the season. There's plenty to go. I have concerns, yes, about the starting rotation. I frankly like some of the things I'm seeing out of the lineup. Manzardo, that's great. Santana looks to be the old Santana that you were trying to get. I like the Nolan Jones ABs that are getting out there in right field. Maybe a little too much Schneeman to start, but that's okay, fine. Like, it's a building of the process, and that's baseball. It's just such a grind. You can't get caught up even week to week. They're fine. They're okay. And that's where I'm not going to be sounding some alarm. Am I worried about when Ben Lively takes the hill? Yeah, kind of a little bit. Okay, Luis Ortiz. What did Justin tell us last week, man? He's walking everybody in spring training. Tough start. Ryan, I'm not concerned about the Guards. And I just don't know if I ever will be, which is weird.
Yeah, you can't be concerned yet. I mean, you're going to drive yourself absolutely. You're going to be in a psych ward if at this rate you're already judging the Guards. Like, if you equivalated into terms in the amount of games of regular season, it'd be like reacting to the Browns after 1 week of football, which I know a lot of people do.
Not even that. Probably like a half of football, quarter of football,
but
probably.
One, you mentioned, it's the very beginning of the season, okay? You're still working out the kinks. You go into the West Coast, you play a 7-0 Padres team who damn well looks like one of the top 2 teams in the whole entire MLB along with the Dodgers. You played, I believe, Matt, I think it was of the 7 pitchers that you faced this season, I think 4 of them received Cy Young votes last year.
Sure, okay? That's a great stat.
Seth Lugo, that's Seth Lugo, that's Cole Reagans, that's Michael King, and that's Dylan Cease, I believe.
Dude, King.
So you're not playing against some schlubs, okay? You're going against great major league pitching. They're going to figure it out. I'm not worried. Yeah. You got a chance to get fat against the Angels and against the White Sox. We'll be having a different tone in a week.
Absolutely, and that's where I'm just so happy baseball's back. And by the way, opening day, we will be at Thirsty Parrot all day with our friends at the colleague companies and talking about the colleague championship, which will be here in the summer. I should have promoted this earlier. Ryan and I specifically will be there from 2:30 to 3:30, but Josh and Marie are going to be there. Drennan's going to be there. The Baerga show with Gab is going to be there. The Big Factor will be there all day. Thirsty Parrot, come on by. I didn't even throw this to you. I want to kind of do this on Tuesday. Kyle Manzardo stash competition.
Oh, wow.
The best Manzardo stash. Can I get like a T-shirt or something to give away on Tuesday?
I shaved mine.
You're ineligible to win anyway.
All right.
Can you grow one by Tuesday?
No. No.
Okay. So Ryan is out. So I kind of want to do that on Tuesday. But hey, we'll see you on Thirsty Parrot coming up on Tuesday for opening day. It's going to be great. It's going to be a little cold. But hey, that's opening day and welcome to it. But hey, man, Guards super early. Not concerned. We'll figure it out. I'm a little concerned about the Immaculate Grid. We're going to go back to football. After a little baseball and after a little basketball. Back to football. Immaculate Grid comes your way next. Stay with us. Fontana Show, Big Play, Rock Sports Network. Let's get to the grid next. All right, Ryan, let's get right to it with the immaculate grid. You know how it goes. We got to get a player that's played in a regular season game, 10,000 career passing yards. We do not have another statistical category.
Thank God we're back to football, by the way.
Yeah, we're back to we struggled. Fontana Show, Rock, big play. Happy to have you alongside. Go on ahead.
Peyton.
I would say, is it Peyton? Or that is a funny-ass commercial. Yeah. Is he Peyton or is he Peyton? I would say probably, yeah, he got that. Yeah.
We don't go for rarity.
We could have gone Peyton there too.
Go Elway. They don't like him in these parts.
Dude, there are so many people that I know that just hate.
Of course they do.
Loathe John Elway.
Of course they do.
All right, opening on up. Odell Beckham didn't go any of those other places. Eli Manning didn't go in any of those places. What's the receiver that I'm thinking of?
For which one?
For not Mario Manningham.
For Giants what?
Just Giants in general. There's
Victor Cruz, I don't think went anywhere.
No, I don't think he did either.
Not think of older
Mike
ones.
Wallace didn't go Steelers. There's a receiver, not Kenny Galladay. Bro, there's a we'll have to come back because there's a receiver that's just gnawing at me for the Giants.
All
right, let's open it up. We can do quarterbacks to start here.
We could go
Drew
Russell.
Lock. Yeah, that works too.
He doesn't work anywhere else. Oh, well, he didn't play in New York yet.
He hasn't played in New York yet.
Can't do DK yet.
Can't do DK yet. Yeah, you're right. Good call. All right, other quarterbacks. Obviously not Andrew Luck. Joe Flacco doesn't work for any of those other spots. Mason Rudolph, no.
Matt Hasselbeck, did he ever play for the Steelers or Colts?
Ooh. I think Colts. I do.
Do we trust that?
And hold on to it, and we'll come back to it. But I want to believe that that's going to work.
Any of the Legion of Boom, Earl Thomas?
No. Sherman, no.
Bobby Wagner, no.
No. Marshawn Lynch, no. Josh Gordon didn't play at either one of those other spots.
No.
Will Disley? I don't think so.
Jimmy Graham, no.
Jimmy Graham, don't think so. All right,
Doug Baldwin, no.
Yeah, I was thinking Doug Baldwin, but I don't think so.
Matt Flynn?
No, that's a good pull. I don't think so. All right, Giants. Did Colt McCoy play in any of those other places? Tyrod Taylor?
I don't think so. Daniel Jones, no.
Did Tyrod? He didn't play in Indy. I don't think he played in Indy.
I don't think so, no. All right.
David Tyree.
Running backs.
Ahmad Bradshaw.
Matt Forte. Did he ever play for?
I don't think so. Philip Lindsay never went to New York.
Wait.
What?
Drew Lock for Giants Broncos, no?
Did he play?
For who?
For the Giants.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. He played he played for the Giants this year.
Giants. Drew Lock.
And he beat the
that's right.
They beat the Colts.
That's right. Drew Lock. You're right. That's right. Okay. Giants Steelers. It's not James Harrison. There's that's the receiver one. There's a receiver. It's not Santonio Holmes.
Mike Wallace?
I mentioned Mike Wallace, but there's somebody else that's just gnawing at me. Not Chase Claypool.
Hines Ward?
Yeah, not Hines Ward. There's
Ryan Switzer?
No.
Antonio Brown?
I want it to be like Mario Manningham, but I just don't think that actually fits.
Who made the helmet catch?
David Tyree.
David Tyree.
Yeah, and I don't have any gut reaction to that. Damn. There's something that's going to bother me.
There'd be something for Giants Colts, like a historic one.
Yeah, same thing. Like, that's... Again, like, I just keep feeling like... Colts Seahawks, Brandon Stokely.
Does that work?
I'm pretty sure.
Well, if it doesn't.
I think.
What's your confidence level?
Not high, but we got to go.
Okay.
All right. 0.8%. All right.
Seahawks Steelers.
I mean, can we go kickers deep? Leonard Williams never played in Pittsburgh.
Giants Steelers is gonna kill me.
Yeah. Giants Steelers, that's where it's like I keep thinking like Mario Manningham or something like that, but I can't. Antoine Randall, is it Cordell Stewart? Charlie Batch? Tommy Maddox. I want to talk myself into Steelers Giants, but I don't feel good about that.
I don't even know who that is.
Ooh. This is a deep cut. I don't know if it's going to work, but I like it. Giants Colts, Jared Lorenzen, the hefty lefty. R.I.P.
Only played 1 year. Can I rip it?
Yeah. No!
Hey, that's all right.
No!
Man.
Scroll on down. I just want to see the top ones quick. Man. Oh, you got to give up.
I don't like giving up.
I don't like it either.
Plaxico Burress.
That was it!
And we couldn't use Russell Wilson again. Matt Hasselbeck would have worked, but we
got that one.
And Ahmad Bradshaw.
I mentioned Ahmad Bradshaw. I forgot he was with the Colts.
Plaxico
Burress was it. He shot himself accidentally.
That was a tough one. I mean,
that was I blame myself. Plaxico Burress was it.
I would not have been a big help on that one.
That's all right.
In hindsight.
That's all right. Well, speaking of help, they got to ban the tush push. I'll tell you why. Stay with us. We'll talk about it next. All right, big thing out of the NFL owners' meetings. Everybody's talking about the tush push, and they tabled it. Ryan, should they get rid of it in the NFL?
I go back and forth on this because I get it's cheese. I get you're not supposed to assist the runner.
That's my thing.
But at the same time, it's not like every team can't do it.
Just make the proclamation that they can't push the quarterback. Just actually enforce the rule. My brother and I were talking about this. He was very passionate about it. Just enforce that they can't run the QB sneak. I don't care. Just don't line Dallas Goedert up behind Jalen Hurts and push him over the hill. They're talking about this is going to be injuries. Here's the other thing I'm going to say, too. Is it a good product for the NFL?
No.
I don't think so. They make rules. They put rules in place for the product of the game. It's not good. So I think they're going to eventually have to make a change. Just make the change that you can't push them. You can do it. Line everybody up and run the rugby style. That's fine. Just don't push the quarterback. Enforce the actual rule of assisting the running back, which, again, they've changed that over the years. If you enforce that, then we're done. We don't have to worry about it. And I think it appeases both sides. It appeases teams that are good at it, that like to do it. So they'll just have to find another way to do it. But it's like, you know, the other thing, there's going to be the next wave of the next tush push, right? I thought about this. Our team's going to figure out a way to throw a wide receiver. Picture this. The Browns line up with 3 receivers out to the right. And it's David Njoku and drafted tight end guy right in front of Jerry Jeudy. And Jerry Jeudy catches it. And that's no different than a screen. But what if, I'm just going to say Nick Chubb, I hope, runs out there and starts pushing Jerry Jeudy to pick up a first down? Like, there's going to be offshoots of this. I'm surprised more teams don't line up in the tush push, take it and flip it out, and run a little option out to the right. That is an evolution in the game, and I don't want to stand in the way of that and just how different the game is played. I think the tush push is a bad product. I don't think it's good for the NFL. Just get rid of them lining people up behind the quarterback and pushing them. That's it for me. That's all I want. And it sounds like there is enough opposite. So here's the thing. They need 24 votes. They supposedly got 16. They need 24 to pass a resolution to ban this. They tabled it. I think they come back with some sort of like, hey, let's just get rid of the runner assist on this. And I think everybody can go home happy with that. So we'll see. And, of course, they'll meet again coming up in May and get that all figured out. All right, appreciate everybody. Join us again next week on Tuesday for opening day. We at Big Play will be live at Thirsty Parrot enjoying opening day. And then Ryan will be into the draft before you know it. As always, appreciate everybody joining us. You can follow us on Twitter X at Matt Fontana Show. Big Play for Instagram, YouTube, and download that Big Play app. And always catch us at 4 o'clock on Fridays on The Rock, presented by our great friends at Fairway Ford, Pure AV, and Garage Beer. Until next week, for Ryan Tyler, I am Matt Fontana. As always,